Now, nothing rustles my feathers like an overpriced product, especially if it's just manufactured in China, but it says it's hand assembled in America. So today we built a potential Soltech killer for $59, and it looks pretty good. It's gonna light that back corner tie constellation because it's fall now, it's getting dark around 6 p.m., and that mama tie is putting out less leaves. So that means less dopamine and serotonin for me. As you guys know, the problem with grow lights is they're pretty industrial. A lot of the grow lights I have at my warehouse are pretty ugly, and I wouldn't necessarily recommend them for your home. So the few that are out on the market that are considered to be aesthetic, I think are really expensive. For instance, the Soltech 40 watt pendant grow light, the Aspect, is $200. And I've built this to put out exactly the same lighting and PPFD, potentially more, than the Aspect. Now there is Russo Plant Care's pendant light. It seems to be like a similar 40 watt, I believe 35 watt version for about $150. Also looks quite aesthetic. And they all have a same or similar beam angle, which is the amount of light that spreads down on the plant. So I hunted down the best grow light bulb with a normal base that I could get from Amazon. This was $30. It has 5,600 reviews. This is not a sponsored video. This is from Sansi. I did reach out to them to see if they'll give us a coupon code for you guys. Stay tuned for that. But it's like 30 bucks, maybe 28 bucks with a coupon. 2,000 of them have been bought every month. And then I also ordered their new version, which puts out even more PPFD, more usable light by the plant, and it's only 32 watts. This was $28. So this combination, this socket drop light, and a 32 watt grow bulb. By the way, this just hangs off your ceiling, has a switch and a plug and like a 15-foot cord. And I'm gonna show you guys how to install it in the corner. So this setup cost $58, $59 compared to the $200. Now I will say the Soltech probably will last longer, but these I believe are warranted for 5 years. Comparing this directly to the Soltech grow bulb, the Vita grow light, it's $85 on the website, so 28 bucks or 85. Now this versus the Soltech, the lifespans are almost identical. I believe the socket assembly is probably your weak point and your failure point over time. I actually really like the aesthetic of this. This is actual real wood. And it's really well assembled. I took a chance on this. This got delivered same day for me. Same with the grow bulb. It came so fast. Now this is all lights off in my house with the windows open, and I'm gonna turn on the 32 watt highly efficient Sansi. You can see how bright it is. I mean, this thing is crazy bright. Look at how good that's gonna look. It's beautiful. Probably wanna mount it like pretty high up on the ceiling. So this thing was actually $56. I actually just looked at the receipt. Light, cord, cable, everything set up. Now I swapped over to the original like 5,000 reviewed light. This one is 36 watts. It's also in that same $30 price point, but it's slightly less efficient. And that dollar per watt is a really great deal. So here's this one. Seems pretty bright, but I think less bright. Yeah, it is less bright than the other one. And I'll show you guys the PPFD measurements. I can put them side by side here. The PPFD measurements of the highly efficient, less reviewed Sansi bulb versus this OG one. And I'll link them both down in the description along with this. Shout out to someone who DM'd me. I asked you guys what grow lights you are using. That's how I got to the Sansi. I kind of like crowdsourced what's the best one you guys are using that's affordable. So someone actually showed me their setup with this. See, it looks way better with the wood when it slides down. Like you can just plug this into a normal lamp that you have. So someone replied that they were just using an IKEA lampshade with theirs. So now we have the less efficient one here. And in my gooseneck office lamp, we have the other one. So we're consuming 60 watts. This one is so powerful. 60 watts of power. And I mean, look at all this light. It's crazy. Bring you guys over here. Look at how bright these bulbs are. So let's hang this up on my ceiling right now. Of course, the shade is going to be really important, how the light is reflected down. You want all this reflectivity to be shooting down, and that's effectively your angle. So this shade is maybe around like maybe 45, 30 degrees, somewhere in there. So it's a very tight funnel of light down onto your plant. Whereas this office light is inefficient in that it's bouncing out through this lampshade instead of focusing and reflecting back down on that plant. So make sure you hit a stud, but you gotta put 2 holes in the ceiling. I mean, even look how cool it looks from like a side light. So fun story time. One time I was hanging up a TV in one of our first houses in New York City, and they have really crappy walls out there. So I hung up the TV, mounted it on the wall, and like 2 days later, my wife comes running in because we both hear a loud crash, and the TV fell straight off the wall. So I don't really trust myself hanging this up there, but make sure you hit a stud. Do the knocking test. And then use a tiny nail and check that it doesn't slide all the way through and that it hits a piece of wood. Now look at how good this turned out. There's the first clip, just little cable management off to the side. Look at how happy it is, the proper lighting. People complained a lot about the Kelvin temperature. This is the 4,000 Kelvin, and I believe the Soltech is 3,000, so it's more warm, but I'm really impressed with this. See, this is proof I don't know how to hang things on walls, so don't hold your breath if this thing falls off. But yeah, that's $55. Or you can buy a pendant lamp and it can create the same amount of light. So thank you guys so much for watching. This is the more efficient version. So check out this $56 setup if you have a chance.